It's Tuesday afternoon, and you know what that means. It's time for Randomity with the Random Christian Show. Today, the Random Christian Show is interviewing comedian Dennis Gaxiola. The Random Christian Show is brought to you by Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, a unique blended salsa loaded with cilantro and just the right amount of heat. Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena is available in stores across Northern California, Colorado, Nevada, and Southern Oregon. To find a store near you, just visit mrsafamous.com. The Random Christian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. The Advisor is a Facebook group created by Colonel James Neil Broaddus, composed of multi-talents such as actors, directors, artists, writers, and more. If you fall into this category, contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. The Random Christian Show can now be seen on the Good Wives Network, TV for women, by women. The Good Wives Network starts streaming March 1st over on Roku, Android TV, and Amazon TV. Intro music provided by the Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify and at deadcampers.com. Next week, the Random Christian Show is interviewing Tim Hayer from the Green Grass Cattle Company. My name is Andy, and now here's your host, Christian Random.
Hey, it is Tuesday. It is 4 p.m. Central or somewhere around there. I am Christian. That is not Andy anywhere because Andy is stuck getting his car repaired. And so it's just me. That's right. It's all about me and how fabulous things can be without Andy. And now I'm lonely. And that's what makes me me. Welcome to it, kids. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, and as you can see here, Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. Make sure you check them out. We did the taste test live here. We did a recorded one, passed it around the world. And if you have not found a way to try and sample Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, in the 3 different varieties, you are missing out because it is amazingly delicious. And so there's that. So get you some, as the cool kids say. We are very excited to have Mr. Dennis Gaxiola here with us. We're going to be getting with him just in a few minutes. I also want to say thank you again to the Good Wives Network for bringing us on. They are doing their soft launch. The whole big thing starts off here in March. Oh, dadgummit. April. Yeah, I'm sorry. We are very excited. So anything you see here, you're going to see right there on the Good Wives Network, along with a lot of other great programming as well. If you like true crime and stuff like that, they're going to have tons of that. But they got a lot of other really cool things that I guess modern women, as they don't like to say, it's not like a Hallmark channel or anything. There's a lot of different aspects to the Good Wives Network for the women out there, and we were very excited that they asked us to come and be a part of it. And there's a lot of other great programs that will be on there, so make sure you check it out. The Good Wives Network. It's on Amazon, and we got a whole list, and it'll be here in the credits at the end of the show. What else do we got going on? I got so many things happening, kids. It's crazy. Yes, because I actually did get a couple of things on the Facebook and stuff like that. Tommy the Truth was not able to be here today, but we do have a winner in the Super Bowl pick because we all did our guesstimates on. I came the closest. Yep, that's right. So Andy lost. That's right. Andy chose Philadelphia by 3 points. By 1 point. I'm sorry. I can't read my own writing. Dadgummit. I did win. Tommy had 27-24, Kansas City. Either way, the Chiefs won. I guess it was a great game. I didn't watch it. Nope. I was sleepy and worked a lot of hours at my job's been driving me crazy. So there's that, and we've had a lot of fun with it. So working 14 hours a day. In fact, I was so out of it, I actually texted our guest that's on the show at 1 a.m. his time and had no idea that I had done it. And basically, he was very kind, but was like, "Really, dude?" And yeah, I felt like a huge butthole. But I live deliriously, and that's how we do things here randomly at the Random Christian Show. So back into it. Speaking of the Super Bowl and our picks and all that, again, I won. Okay, it's kind of like Iron Man, Batman. Iron Man always wins. Okay. Don't care how much prep time any, so just deal with that. I'd like to bring in what we like to talk about here, which is something we haven't done for a few weeks. It's called the Random 9 List. That's right, 9 random things that we put in numerical order and some kind of random assortment of how we feel these things should be rolling out. So today we have 9 random rejected Super Bowl halftime shows. Yes, that's right. It's a list. We've had a crack team working on it for the past 2 weeks, and here it is right here. 9 random rejected Super Bowl halftime shows. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into those shows, and sometimes there isn't. And so that's why these were the 9 random rejected Super Bowl halftime shows. Here is the list just for you. Yes, that's right. And the band fades out, and then I fade in. Okay, so we're going to start with number 9. Johnny Knoxville and the boys from Jackass are playing musical electric chairs Russian roulette style. Yeah, that's not very comfortable, and so that would be bad. And now the sound effects things don't work. There's the Wilhelm scream for you. All right, our number 8, 9 random rejected Super Bowl halftime shows. Both sets of cheerleaders participating in demonstrations of goat yoga. Oh, yeah. Don't think the crowd would be into that one. No. Let's see. Where are we at? We're at number 7. James Earl Jones reading the script of the opening attack scene of the girl skinny dipping in Jaws with his own special sound effects. Yeah, thinking there should have been a whole lot more to that one, but number 6. This would be a random rejected Super Bowl halftime show. Number 6 would be the unboxing of the latest Minecraft Lego set. Entertaining for some, but very few. Some, yeah. Number 5, David Blaine performing another amazing stunt, a staring contest with himself. No, wait, no. There's no spoiler alert with that. It's just David Blaine staring at himself. And he's calling it an amazing stunt. So yeah, it's kind of like him when he was hanging upside down in Las Vegas. There's not much to it. It's just him hanging upside down. Number 4, we have 20 randomly selected children from the crowd come down and play pin the tail on the current losing team's mascot. Well, that could be interesting and rather painful if they're using real pins. Which I'm assuming that's what they were referring to. Number 3 of the 9 random selected Super Bowl halftime shows. Number 3 would be Bobcat Goldthwait performing Madonna's greatest hits. Vogue! Yeah. I would tune in for that, actually. Number 2, a UFC type fight between the real life representations of the team's mascots. And with this Super Bowl, that would have been an eagle and guy dressed up as the chief. I guess. Oh no, they have the wolf. That's right, the KC wolf. Well, eagle and a wolf. Pretty sure wolf's gonna win. Let's see. Okay, here we are. The number one, 9 random Super Bowl halftime shows that were rejected. A full-dressed reenactment of The Last Dance and Dirty Dancing by Andy and myself. I'm playing baby. Andy is playing Johnny. And there it is, kids. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 random reasons why we shouldn't have done that list. Then, yeah, there we go. So there it is. We're so excited to have it, and it was brought to you by Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena. There you go. Welcome to it, and welcome back, and happy to have you here. So, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna jump right into talking with the gentleman. I've been very excited to be been watching his videos. I've seen a few of his specials, and now we have him here to talk with us right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dennis Gaxiola.
Hey there.
Sir.
Hey, it's good to be here. Good to be with you.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, my friend. Oh, there's the applause. There it is. Welcome to it. Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us. Now, Dennis, you are out in the Bay Area, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, just on kind of on the old Super Bowl theme, which, you guys had a shot. Well, now, you're Northern Bay Area, you're Northern Cal guy. Are you a 49ers fan or a Raiders fan?
No, I'm a Raider fan. Yeah, I couldn't be part of the 49ers. I mean, their fan base is really weak. The week before the NFC Championship, everywhere 49er gear.
Oh,
Since
dude.
then, I mean, I'm out and about all the time. I've seen 5 people with Niner hats on or shirts. That's it. The week before, I was traveling and I saw gear all over the country. 49er fans were popping up everywhere. You know, Raiders, we struggle, but you see Raider gear everywhere.
Right? No matter what. Okay?
Exactly.
That's right. Silver and black is always there, buddy.
Exactly.
No, I grew up hardcore Raider fan. I'm not so much into football and stuff anymore, but yeah, especially since they went to Vegas. So I was like, okay, that's there we go. And my co-host Andy is a huge Raiders fan as well. So
Nice.
yes, we're in good company, bro. And you know what? We won when football was football. That's how I like to say it. You know, back in the 70s and early 80s, that's when, you know, putting a finger in somebody's eye was still, you know, legal. So so yeah, I was just kind of curious. And you know, 49er fans, God love them, but they are fair weather as all get out. So so you got that going for you. All right. And so now you guys up in the Bay Area there, now you were up in Sacramento for a while, and now you're back in the Bay Area. You guys you guys have had some real crazy weather going on. What's been going on out there? You like tons of rain.
Yeah,
just like
we went from years of drought to catching up like in a short window of time, and it's crazy. But thankfully, you know, the snowpack is deep up in the Sierras, which means the rivers and the springs and the creeks are all going to get filled up when the snow melts. So it's a good thing that the region needed it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing. Once the Sierra Nevadas get that nice deep cold ice pack, then you guys are set for a little while. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
just drink less water. That's fill up the dams. All right, now when you also were you're a veteran. You're
Yes.
out at Air Force, correct?
Yep. 20 years in the Air Force.
20 years, man. All right. So now were you in the Bay Area there at like Moffett Field or?
I was stationed in Sunnyvale over at Anazuka Air Station for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
10 in Sacramento, 10, 11 in Sacramento, a year in Korea, and then I retired out of Travis.
Wow. Beautiful. Well, thank you for your service, sir. We do appreciate you. And what were you doing? Were you flying? Oh, you could tell me, but you'd have to kill me.
No, I was administrative type, supply guy by training, but I did 1 year in base supply and the rest of the time doing special duty assignments. So,
which you'd have to kill me if you told me about.
No, but it was they would tease me that I was a comedian by day and the Air Force part-time, even though I was active duty. So, I had a pretty cool career.
Nice. It's well, yeah, and plus, I mean, not bad areas to be serving in, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's Travis Air Force Base, pretty nice place. Not gonna lie. And well, dude, that's okay. So, and you're also the son of a preacher.
Yep.
Okay. How did the whole comedy thing come around? Because I'm from what I've gathered from watching you, it kind of hit at an early age. I mean, were you just a real kind of smarty kid and
I like joking around. Humor became like a defense mechanism because I was a runt in my high school, 3,000 kids. I think, we had construction of a building, so I think we were down to like 2,600 kids when I was in high school. I was the runt of the school, so I just learned to use comedy, my humor as a defense mechanism. But I never thought about doing stand-up till I was in the Air Force. And on a dare, a guy dared me to go on stage, and he taught me the ropes, the basics of stand-up comedy, and he changed it. He changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow. And now this was a buddy of yours, or just some guy who said, "Hey, you're pretty funny. Why don't you try?"
No, I met him in leadership school. You have to go through different classes as you get promoted. So I was in leadership class, and I sat next to this guy for a month, and we always goofing off, teasing people. And another guy said, "Hey, you're funnier than him. You should try comedy." So I was like, "I'll show you." And yeah, man, it was Michael Sykes out of Washington. He taught me the ropes of stand-up comedy.
Wow. And then it's just kind of accelerated from there. I mean, did you just have to do a bunch of open mics, or did you get kind of hooked in pretty quick and start doing a circuit, or what?
No, I was active duty for the first, 12, 13 years of my comedy career.
Oh,
so,
wow.
But I was spoiled because I did comedy for 6 months, quit, and then 3 years later went back and got into it. And I would get off work and drive somewhere to go do, 10 minutes of comedy. So I was picky on what shows I took because being active duty, I couldn't,
right.
I couldn't use up all my leave to try to get to a show, but I stayed busy, and then comedy is a networking thing, and I ended up meeting some people that really helped my career, and the rest is history.
You met some pretty amazing people, dude, and you've been pretty well connected ever since.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Gabriel Iglesias, you were on with Jamie Foxx. What was the show?
Laffapalooza.
Thank you,
with Jamie. I did a show, and this is for all the comics. Not everything's about money. So I got the president of Live Nation. He was the head of comedy at the time. He called and said, "I need a favor. I need you to go to Reno and open for." Mark Curry was the headliner. Hang with Mr. Cooper.
Wow. Yeah.
And
also a Bay Area boy.
Yep. And Jamie Foxx was the feature, and they needed an opening act. And he's like, I'll take care of you with a week at my clubs, but go up to Reno for no money. And my friends were like, "No, you don't do that. It's a big venue." But in my gut, I was like, man, this is a really good opportunity. So I
Yeah.
went, and Jamie Foxx's road manager became my manager. And he, I didn't audition for Laffapalooza. They were like, hey, you're on Laffapalooza. You're on this, you're on that. So, it was saying yes to an opportunity to perform in a large venue. And they comped me a beautiful suite. I mean, the suite had two rooms bigger than my apartment,
Oh Lord.
So I didn't get paid cash, but it paid long-term. So got to count, some opportunities might be good for short money. I could have said, no, you got to pay me. And back then, $500 was a good gig. I could have demanded $500 and lost the gig.
Right.
But I took the gig, and it ended up paying in dividends way more than any cash gig.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. And it's funny. A lot of people think, oh yeah, comedy, you just kind of luck into things and stuff. No, you go work your butt off, and you do like you said, you drive maybe an hour and a half somewhere to a club where you do maybe 10 minutes. Sometimes it's even less, and you've got your prep time, you've got all sorts of stuff running through your head. You've got notes, and you go up there, and those 10 minutes are about the longest 10 minutes you'll ever experience, especially if you got a dry crowd. So yeah, and then you got to drive all the way back home, and then it's all running through your head. So yeah,
long drives. Those are some long drives.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, to get an opportunity like that, yeah, you take it and you do it for free because, well, like you said, after that, all of a sudden, hey, you're on Laffapalooza. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't have to try out. You're on. You're good. And I get it, man. I mean, like I said, if nobody out here hasn't seen your work yet, it's genius. It's hilarious, dude. Even like when you stall out, I was like sitting there, I'm like, what's he doing? And you're like, hey, I'm just checking you out. I still got jokes. That's all good.
So the first Dry Bar special, I was sick as a dog. I had bronchitis. So people compliment me now for like being so slow. But I was trying not to laugh because if I laughed, I would get a coughing fit. So, man, it was, Dry Bar ended up being way more than I thought it was. And I'm so glad I didn't bail on the taping. I'm like, hey, I'm sick. I went. The money is low up front. I think it was $1,500 to go up there, and that's including your airfare.
Oh wow!
But it opened doors across the country.
Yeah, well, Dry Bar's really become a big connection for a lot of comedians.
Well, it shows that like for me as a Christian, it shows that I'm a clean comic. Opens me up to a lot of churches across the country. But even if you're not doing it like faith-based comedy, corporate work, when they can see that you can work corporate clean, there's way more corporations than there are comedy clubs. So
oh yeah, dude. And we actually Bob Smiley was on here. I'm sure you know who he is.
Good kisser, really good kisser.
Wow.
Love you, Bob.
Hey, all I got was a high five, and it was
He's
over
picky.
The internet. So yeah, I know. He is choosy, isn't he? He's like a mom picking peanut butter. He's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the Jif. But no, he was talking about how he gets so many corporate gigs because of the fact he's good at clean comedy, and I totally get it. It's like when I first started doing this, and just real briefly, I was kind of like, I'm going back to my old radio style, but hey, I don't have the FCC. I can do and say what I want. And I kind of played around with that, and I'm like, no. And and my wife goes, listen, you're a Christian. Let's do it. Let's do it how God would want it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I want people to be able to listen with their kids. If they're driving in a car, a lot of people listen to podcasts and stuff like that while they're driving. I don't want a kid going, what does what was that word that he just said? Yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Just
I love when people say you're my grandma's favorite comic. Years ago, I would have been mortified. God, I'm hitting with the seniors, but no, that somebody could show my comedy to an elder and they
Absolutely.
enjoy it. There was a regular gig up in above Sacramento, up in Lincoln. It was at a senior community. And they have a beautiful, I think it's like a 200-seat theater in this 55 or older city. It's like a mini city, and they have everything in there, but you have to be 55 or older to live there. Well, they would do 2 shows, like once a month, midweek. They would do 2 shows. The early show was that 55 to 70-year-old crowd, and they were fun. No, that was the late show. The early show was like the 70 to 90-year-olds. 6 o'clock was your elders.
Yeah.
And you're talking about performing in a room full of grandma and grandpa.
Wow,
And
dude.
I would tell the other comics, if you can make them laugh, you can make anybody laugh.
Right.
They were us 30, 40 years ago.
That crazy boy up there, he's not funny. What the heck is he saying?
You're
one
looking
little
at the toilet, old man. Just turn around.
I had one gal. She had to be 90. Her hair was snow white. She sat right up front, and she laughed at every joke. And it warmed my heart so much to see her having a good time. And at the end of my set, I thanked her.
Yeah.
And she went, "What?" And she goes, "I left my hearing aid at home." She was laughing at the laughter. She didn't hear one joke, but she enjoyed hearing the people laugh. So when they would laugh,
man.
she would laugh.
She was right in there with it.
Man, but it was still cool that she had a great time.
Right.
And all these other folks were laughing. So they could have all left the hearing aids at home for all I know. But the one that I acknowledged didn't hear one joke.
Are you enjoying the show?
What?
I don't know how to blow. What? Well, and again, laughter is the best medicine. I mean, it's they've proven that comedians going into like hospitals talking with terminally ill people and stuff, it fully improves their health 100%. It's amazing just what a little fun can do for people. And that's why I love it so much. I'm kind of like you. I was a kid. I had to use my humor as a way of distracting before I got punched and things like that, or thrown in a trash can. And it worked out well. And of course, nobody nowadays finds my 15-year-old attitude funny. But now, and speaking of, dealing with the older crowds and stuff like that, you don't really prefer to be politically correct. I think
you can still be clean and be edgy.
Right.
But the pandering to the extreme left, that just doesn't float with me. I'm not gonna, my truth is my truth. You're welcome to have your truth, but that doesn't disqualify my truth. As long as I'm not hating anybody or advocating violence, my truth is my truth. And I will always stand on the word of God, whether they like it or not. Whether you might say, "Oh, this is, the right thing to say," but I'm going, "No, that's not what the word of God says." So I'd rather be on his side and be called a fool. As long as there's no hatred. I mean, I have friends of every walk of life, 20 years in the military, 30 years of stand-up, raised around the church and dedicating my life to Christ 20 years ago. I have people of every walk of life. The people that actually know me will say, "No, Dennis doesn't hate anybody." The people that assume because I have a label that I'm a Christian, I've had people like literally block me on social media, and I go, "Hey, what happened?" They go, "Are you a Christian still?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, "Okay, I want nothing to do with you."
Right.
And that's based off their misinformation, not based off of how I treat people.
Yeah, and it is pretty sad that the people use the religion, and unfortunately, there's a lot of misrepresentations about Christianity and whatnot out there. And
what's amazing though is that other religions that are even more hateful to the LGQ community, I mean, in in Muslim countries, they will kill you if you come out and say you're homosexual.
Right. Yeah.
But you don't see people going after them. It's only when they go after Christians. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't hate anybody. I would want to tell them about this man that I fell in love with, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't want to have anybody think that because I'm a Christian, I'm a follower of Christ, I hate them based on their lifestyle. I would hope that someday they would rectify their relationship with God.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing how quickly it all gets twisted and wound up, and then they just and you gotta be no. That's your interpretation.
He turned water into wine. He was cool.
Dude, Jesus knew how to party. I'm not gonna lie.
That right there, to anybody out there dealing with diabetes, because I'm a diabetic. That is spring water, the sparkling water.
Yeah.
With pomegranate juice.
Dude.
And it tastes like punch, but there's no sugar.
Yeah.
So that is my go-to drink. I go to sleep taking my nighttime medications and vitamins with pomegranate juice with a little sparkling water.
He's all fancy. Fancy water and stuff.
That sparkly.
Yeah. It's got flair. That's what we like to say. It's just full of flair.
Fabulous.
Oh, we're gonna get letters now. Hey, so now you're the son of a preacher, and now was your father like a certain type? Was he more like an evangelist? Was he?
He was an evangelist teacher.
Baptist.
Toward the end of we were raised Assemblies of God.
Okay.
But my dad, because he was a heroin addict when he was a kid, and he became a Christian in prison. He was very compassionate and he understood grace. So one of his big passions was prison ministry, because that's where he found a relationship with Christ.
Right.
I remember when I came home in my wondering years, I came home with a tattoo on my arm, and my mom freaked out. I was the pastor's daughter. She was the church lady. My dad looked at my tattoo, and then he raised his sleeve. He goes, when you get old, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like that.
Yeah, it's gonna look like some twisted little raisin after a while. You're just like, What does that say? Hold on, let me spread it out here for you. Yeah, I have one, and it was actually one I drew myself, and I was good. I have friends who are sleeved, and they got them on their head, and I'm just like, in about another 30 years. I don't think you're gonna enjoy those decisions. It's gonna be like the back of the Mad magazines. Remember those? How you'd fold them together, and it'd have one picture, and then you pull it out, and it's a different picture. And
I crack up with people. If you have tattoos, nobody cares. For one, maybe your mom. Two, when it's cold, you don't need to be in shorts and a tank top. Okay,
to show them off.
Show how cool you were. No, it's like nobody cares. Put your clothes on. It's 27 degrees outside, and you're walking around in Birkenstocks, booty shorts, and a tank top. And you're a dude. Nobody wants to see your booty.
Yeah, especially if you're a dude. The short shorts just ain't cutting it, man.
Exactly.
Man, and have you noticed how men's fashion and women's fashions have really kind of done a flip-flop? Now all of a sudden it's really cool for chicks to wear like loose baggy pants, and dudes are wearing the little peg leg, tight pants and stuff. And I'm like, where did that get cool? I'm not sure.
The one that I freak out with is the pastors wearing the holy jeans, the shredded jeans, whatever they call them. It's like, why are you wearing teenage girl jeans?
Okay, you and me just became best friends.
It freaks me out.
I actually gave one of our associate pastors. I gave him some crap after he was up there preaching. A guy gives an amazing message. He's entertaining. He makes you think, and just great message. But afterwards, I was like, So, did you borrow your son's pants or what's going on here? And he's like, no, these are mine. And he like got kind of offended at first. I'm like, I'm just saying, dude, it's yeah, that's a fashion statement, I guess. And he's like, seriously, man.
I think young men, and not to be an old prude, but young men need to see men. Young men need to emulate, have some role models in the church. Even that's how a man dresses. And if you make me wear a tie to come to your church, I charge you a lot of money. No, I'm not putting in the place. You're going to pay me
because I got to tie this.
Yeah, but so I mean, if I wear dress up for me is putting a sport coat on with an open collar and some jeans, or even a t-shirt and a sport coat.
Right.
That right there. Now, if it's a banquet, I get it. But when you're playing church with me and making me have to dress up so I qualify for your church, I really don't want to be there. Yeah. So I'm not some prude, but still show the young men what a man dresses like,
Right.
And women show the young ladies how a woman represents herself with class.
Yes, and yes. Yeah, because there's and I get, hey, you want to have tattoos and you want to, kind of dress a little edgy or something. There's dressing a little edgy, and then there's dressing like I'm not sure if you realize what you're throwing out there, but it's
when I was in Bible school, the discussion came up about how women were dressing. And of course, the young ladies were like, well, who are you to judge? They're doing all that stuff. And the professor handled it so well. He's one of my favorite people on planet Earth, Professor Ken Blumel. He was like a 5-star recruit. If sports, like college recruiting, if they did that for pastors, he would be a 5-star recruit that every church would want. Just right. Wonderful. And all he said was, sisters, be kind to your brothers. You don't understand how a man processes visually. And when you're showing all your business, he's not even worried about worship. He's looking at you going, holy cow. So, be kind to each other.
Yeah, because we're dudes. And it doesn't care, and even my pastor, a great man, he's brought up, hey, we're going to look. We're going to wonder. And it's very distracting during the, during church time, especially. So,
exactly.
and don't make the church thing. Well, isn't that convenient? All right.
I feel like my beard grew grayer as I'm on this show. I couldn't find my beard color. All my headshots, my beard is dark. I like a dark beard. My wife likes a dark beard, but I couldn't find the just for men. And then the lady explained, no, it's now just for them.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay, good. No, I know. Hey, nothing shocks me anymore, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, for
real. Okay, now you mentioned Bible school. You actually went to Bible school?
Yes.
Okay.
5 years, and I'm still 2 years away from my associate's degree.
Wow. All right. Now,
no, you know what? I had enough units. I think I'm like 2 or 3 classes away from my bachelor's, and I just got so busy. And then I moved out of Sacramento, and my school is in Sacramento. So someday I will be able to go back and knock out that degree. And they keep inviting me back. Hey, come finish it so you stop joking that you didn't even get the associates. I think I have like 180 units in the different schools I went to. I just never, it's like I learned it. I was like, cool, I don't need a title, and
well, I was busy. You do have a title. It's Bible School Dropout.
Yeah, exactly. I was the name of the new special. And the president of my Bible school probably was not feeling that. Hey, Corey Hall saying hola and hello.
Oh, crap. I forgot about the chat. See, This is what happens when Andy's not around, guys. Sorry about that. Corey Hall, hello. Corey's a good friend of ours, and he also has a podcast as well. And nice. A pastor, by the way.
Awesome.
Corey Hall. Welcome to it. And yes, the chat is open, kids. Sorry about that. And we are speaking with Dennis Gaxiola, comedian, dry bar comedian. Evangelist, just a funny heck of a dude. We were talking about his Bible school dropout days. Now, and you're a father now. How long have you been married?
So my wife and I, we were married, divorced for 23 years, and remarried. We've been remarried for 6 years now. So, yeah, we have a heck of a testimony, but God healed our relationship and brought our family together, and now we get on each other's nerves.
As all good families should do.
Exactly.
Now is she Latino also, or?
Yeah, she's Puerto Rican from Hawaii, and she lived in Alabama for 7 years. So I don't know which version's showing up every day. Some days she speaks she speaks with the pidgin. Other days she speaks Southern Belle. So I have to figure out who she's.
She makes them all up every now and then too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, honey, let me tell you something, sweetheart. Yeah.
She called me darling one day, and I looked at her and went, "Darling? Who's darling?" It's from Alabama.
My wife is part Hispanic too, and yeah, she can go there. I'm just gonna say, it's quite interesting.
I agree with what Corey said. Aloha, Latina redneck. Do not make that woman mad. Exactly.
Yeah. Nope. No. That's a line you just don't cross. Now, how many kids do you have? Because you have quite the cool collection.
Yeah, we have. So we have the two oldest are ours, and then we divorced. So we have the ours, and we have the his and the hers. Or as she said, she says, "You have 6, I have 3."
Oh,
so we ended up with between the two of us 6 boys and 1 girl.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, kind of like me. I have 4 girls, and she has 2 boys and a daughter. And awesome. Yeah, so we're quite the collection.
Yes.
But most of them are old. We just got my 2 younger ones left, and we get them every now and then. We have a great time, and loves them like their own mother.
That was a requirement that my wife set out when we talked about getting remarried. She said, A, I need some of your time because you're busy, and then B, I'm not a stepmom, I'm a mom.
Right.
And the point was that she would mother them as her own, and she didn't want to have, well, you can't tell my kids what to say, or what to do because they're my kids. No, they're our kids, and we have 2 at home. The youngest and my daughter, college closed down when the pandemic hit. She came home and she never left again. It's like the pandemic's over.
You're like, okay, no, it's cool. Everything's fine. It wasn't really a problem in the first place, but now you can go. Get out. Yeah. No, I'm cool. I'm watching TV, Dad. Sorry.
Yeah, so she's supposed to head back and finish out her senior year next year. So we'll see where. I like her local. I like her here. So there's no rush in my book.
You're a dad.
Exactly.
You always want the daughter around.
When she gets married, I'll be relieved and go, okay, she made it. But until then, I'm good with her being home.
Yeah. Now, are you okay? You the drill sergeant when the boy comes over?
No, I give him a hard time, but no, he's a nice kid. He does things right. He doesn't honk and wait for it. No, he knocks on the door. He comes in and greets us. He's a nice kid, and I hope he doesn't watch this, but she has him wrapped around her finger, and so no, he's a good kid. And they broke up for a little while, and he was so heartbroken. He came and sat with me, and then she gave him another shot.
Whoa! He actually came and consoled with you, huh?
He brought me a cheesecake.
Dude, good dude. Yeah.
Hey, but it's like the picture you had of me compared to now. I'm like 30 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how fat I was, but when the Bible School Dropout was released, and it went, Dry Bar is amazing. They're international.
Oh yeah.
I got a guy from Africa inboxed me and says, "Congratulations, brother. You've lost a lot of weight." Even Africa knew I was fat.
Hey, well, kind of seeing the diets that happen out there. It's like, well, look, I'm pretty sure anybody's kind of heavy set. Now, are your parenting techniques different than your wife's parenting techniques? With that many kids, yeah.
Now she's different. When we were kids, she was kind of laissez-faire, but now she's more of the drill sergeant, and I'm more of the, when will they leave? No, no. I think the kids know I'm a softie until they really get into that last nerve,
Right. So you're the one that gets pushed towards the, you're like, yeah, you don't want to play this game, and then they play that game, and you're like, okay, told you.
Yeah.
But mom's there right off the bat, right? She's just like,
She's now where she's like, if you teach them to do it once, do it right, then we don't have to follow up. So, I mean, we have one teenager. Everyone else is adults. We have a 13-year-old at home now, and the other ones, they're young adults. So,
right.
I beat them in Madden, and I try to advise them. The old man still has some thumbs. We're like,
right?
These thumbs are lethal on Madden. Anybody? No.
Oh, hey, if Andy was here, he'd be talking to you. He loves playing the games.
My son number 2 he's a beast on Madden. So I text him earlier today. I mean, I go out on weekends and I perform and I preach. So I'm home and I'm like, hey, you want some of these thumbs? And his reply, he replies, Dad, I'm at work. And I was like, oh yeah, my bad.
I have a job, Dad. Okay. Yeah. Not a lot of us get to play around like you do. Yeah. And now, so she's the one who rules the roost, then, right? The wife.
I'm like, she's the one that keeps the house clean, so she calls the shots. She's the one that makes sure our house looks nice, and she keeps us. She pays the cost to be the boss. That's the way I look. I look at things like that. And so we have a good balance. So.
Well, now, being the son of a preacher, what I mean, was your dad like real strict with you and stuff? So you had to kind of follow the same route?
No, my dad was mellow. He didn't want to get dad mad, so my dad was pretty mellow. My mom ran the house, and my dad would come home, and unless somebody really messed up, discipline was dished out by my mom.
Right.
Because my dad was a licensed boxer, he could never use his hands on us. So if matters got turned over to my dad, the belt was coming off. But he would want play-by-play. Like if we got in a fight at school, he would want the play-by-play. And then what you do? And then what you do? What? I told you to stick and move.
I was gonna say, no, you keep this up, then you come up with the uppercut. Come on. Here, let me show you. All right, see? Now you get up off the floor. Come here. Yeah, so now did mom rule with the flip-flop?
She wasn't a flip-flop. She was a ear, hair, and mouth specialist. So my dad broke his back. A drunk driver broke my dad's back when my mom was carrying me. So he dealt with back problems all his life, all his adult life. My grandfather, my mom's father, gave my mom a very as we got older, we realized they were barber straps. The thick, we called it the thick belt. It was actually a barber strap where they would sharpen, the razor.
The leather,
That one, it was scary, but it didn't hurt. But the thin strap, it was a skinny piece of, it looked like a belt, but it wasn't a belt. But when she got the skinny one out, that's the one that stung, so, we weren't abused, but we knew, don't cross the line and end up having to have the thick belt come out, so, we had a pretty good childhood. All of us ended up being productive adults. So I think my mom and dad did a good job.
Nobody ended up in jail, so that's what it counts. Yeah. I put my parents through that already. So it's like I tell my kids, I said, I've run every game. I'm telling you. And I know what you're doing right now. And even that look that you're giving me, I invented it. Or I stole it from somebody else and remodified it. So
Exactly.
you ain't going nowhere. So yeah, and like I said, I got all girls, so attitude galore when it happens, man. Oh, good God. And now, so and your dad used to drag you around, not drag you, I guess he'd take you to churches where he'd be preaching, correct?
So my mom, because my grandfather on my mom's side was the pastor, my mom always helped at the church, whether she was Sunday school superintendent or working. So if my dad traveled, she'd always send one of his kids with him, if he was going somewhere. And he didn't travel like I travel now. He would always be right within Northern California where he would go somewhere. So he would take one of his kids with him usually.
Mm-hmm. And you just go hang out with them and you get you involved in any of it, or you just kind of sit there and hang out to the side?
He tried, but when we were kids, trying to find our own way, he'd get frustrated with us. And I think he'd be proud now. I was doing comedy when he was still alive, but I wasn't in ministry. So now to go into prisons and share, I do comedy in prisons, but then I'll share my dad's testimony. And it's very effective because when the men hear that this dude that was worse than them ended up having his life turned around and was able to raise a family. I mean, because people forget we are programmed for a family unit. That's how God created us.
Right. And
it's only natural to sit there and, to want a wife or a husband and raise children. And when you get my age, have grandchildren, it's a wonderful thing. So when you're going in and telling men that are, have hit rock bottom, that there's hope, because my dad turned his life over and accepted Jesus as Savior. And by the time he was 40, they had expunged his record. He had a clean record because he wasn't the man that had did all those crimes when he was, he was in jail from 11 to his early 20s, in and out of prison. From boys camps to prison. And so when I share that, I let them know, no, there is hope. It's the guys usually go from laughing to leaning in and listening, and to hear so many guys
see the light bulbs popping up over their head going, oh
yeah. And I had one guy come up to me after a Hope event. With Prison Fellowship does Hope events, and I'm on their national roster. And nothing I do is more satisfying than going into the prisons. There's no reward like that. I've been blessed to perform in front of 26,000 people at a big doghouse comedy jam with, the who's who of comedy. And I'm hanging out with these people going, what am I doing here? But from that to the Apollo Theater in New York, if you gave me a choice of, hey, can I go back to Folsom Prison? It's.
I want to pull a Johnny Cash. Come on.
I got to perform where Johnny Cash recorded his album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
that was pretty amazing.
That is, yeah. And I actually, the fact that he went and did that, I thought was amazing. And it really started a kind of a new trend in a way. It's like, hey, yeah, let's go do this. Let's go, The thing is, and I'm sure you can attest to this, a lot of these guys that are in there, hey, we screw up, and some people intentionally screw up. But you know what? After a while of contemplation, yeah, you can turn it around. And, he just accepted Jesus in there so he'd look good, so he'd get parole and stuff. A lot of those guys really, become far better Christians than you sitting next to me in church, They
understand grace. They know what it's like to have a life, with no purpose, and then to have grace and have their purpose restored. There's a famous evangelist with the Victory Outreach churches. He was a hitman for the Mexican mafia. And became a Christian in prison, and years later paroled. And the Mexican mafia came up to him while he was working at a car wash because he's on parole. He had to have a job.
Right.
And they pulled a gun out of the window of the car and they said, if this is real, we give you a pass. But if you slip up, and you're just doing this so you can get out, you're a dead man.
Yeah.
And so there are street laws that you can't violate either, not much less our society laws. If you fake it, they're going to come back and make you pay.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, you'll be going and meeting your maker far sooner than you really had any plans for.
Exactly.
So, and they'll do it in a very unglorifying way. So yeah. I've dealt with some situations in my life where I was like, okay, I get the hint. Don't worry, I'm good. It's fine. So yeah, I'll be over here, and I don't even know who you are anymore. So don't worry about it. If you're joining us on the just now, we've got Dennis Gaxiola, comedian extraordinaire, with us. And now, you got any shows coming up soon here, Dennis? What do we got? We need to be pumping out some promotions here for you, buddy.
I'm doing a big event in San Francisco, California. They're doing these Hope events in California. 10 cities on April 1st. 10 cities across California are doing these big events, and I'm doing the San Francisco one at Pier 35 on April 1st. And Malo's gonna be there. One of the former lead singers of Malo's gonna be there. It's a car show. It's pretty cool. Aki Star from Aki he's been all over the place. He's been with numerous groups. He's gonna be doing a solo event there, but that's gonna be pretty cool. And then on a different note, I will be in Indianapolis in the middle of March. We're shooting a new clean comedy show called The Color of Comedy, and it's a little more multicultural.
Yeah, Tanja D is going to be on that, isn't she?
So yeah, we have a bunch of people coming out, and these are going to be the first ones, and we're hoping to show that. I'm proud that I can work with any audience. Literally, I'm blessed to where at in Indy. Corey's asking, at the Reset Center in Indianapolis. I don't have the address in front of me, but
Google.
I'm blessed that I can go to Provo, Utah, and perform up there.
Yeah,
but not every comic can go do that audience. It's a very So that just struck a nerve with me and said, why can't we have a show where clean comics of all walks of life, as long as you could do clean comedy, and so it's a more of an urban audience, but it's going to be funny, and we're hoping that it takes off the way Dry Bar took off.
Yeah, dude. And I just remembered who was talking about it a while back. We have Andrea Woodfolk. She's known as she used to be known as Little Baby. I've had baby girl comedy. And
I've been asking people, so I've got like a stack of people hitting me going, hey, can I get on the show? So yes, as we grow, after we're shooting 8 episodes in the middle of March, and as we get the word out that we have this, we're looking for sponsors to come on so we can fund this, and we're just praying that it takes off. So that's awesome. That's the big project on the horizon.
Cool. Well, send me the info. We'll put it as a link on our webpage associated with this show. So that way, anybody who goes to check you out will see the link for it and everything, and they can get all sorts of information right there off the old randomchristianshow.com page thing that will have. Andy does all that, so I just kind of show up, and I'm
just a pretty face.
I was going to say I'm just the face I vogue, right? I got so much stuff I wanted to talk to you about.
We got to do this again, bro. I regret that I couldn't do it last time. Was I sick or I had a family emergency? I remember getting it. I forget what it was why I couldn't do it, but I regret not doing it then, and I look forward to doing it again.
No, this is absolutely it's been an absolute blast. I got a couple other things I was going to ask you about. You do a little bit about Latinos in the Bible.
Yes.
I need you to explore that for me a little bit here. What is because apparently there's quite a few.
Oh man, I set the bit up talking about diversity because I know of churches where people left because the church reflected too much of the community. They wanted a monolithic congregation. Just, I don't know if that's the right word. It sounded like I was educated. So they wanted
You use them big Frenchy words is what you done.
They weren't comfortable worshiping with Black folks and Latinos in their church. So they went to another all-white church. And I was like, man, don't worry about heaven. You're not going. Imagine throwing a birthday party for one of your kids or a wedding for one of your daughters.
Yeah.
And people going, well, we want to come to the wedding, but we don't want those other people you're having at the wedding.
Had it happen at my wedding.
And so I joke around about that, and then I go into how we're all going to be around the throne of God one day speaking Spanish, because he named his son Jesus. And, it's comedy, people. I literally see people when I do that bit some places. I mean, it's like 99% heavy laughter, but every once in a while there's somebody crossing their arms, and I'm like, hey, you're going to wrinkle your sheet, brother.
Hey, your halo's falling off. Just saying.
Yeah, but they it's just poking fun at stereotypes. That's all it is. It's just, Moses led the Israelites across the Red Sea. And as I joke about, who else could do that but a Mexican across the water to get to the promised land?
Well, and
Only a 5-foot Mexican would look at a 9-foot giant and go, I can take him.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Yeah. So it's just poking fun at stereotypes. And it's gotten harder with people being so politically correct, but that just makes me dig in more, because it's comedy, and if you come to a comedy show with your political agenda, you're at the wrong spot.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Everybody forgets how to just laugh at each other and laugh at ourselves. And, it's like, I actually had this debate a while back with some people at work, and I multicultural group of friends that I work with. I was talking about Blazing Saddles and how it broke the mold on so much, but you would not be able to see it in a movie theater today because
no, they can't shoot that movie today.
No. And I said it's a horrible. Oh, that's such a racist. I said, really? Have you really watched it? Because basically all it is it's making fun of white people. Okay, and their brainless stereotypes.
Mel Brooks is poking fun of ignorance, and if you get offended by it, it's. I mean, like right now, what's trending is a 2005 clip from what's the cartoon with the little kids? You killed
Rugrats?
No. It's the real politically incorrect show.
Oh, South Park.
South Park's clip from 2005 about the school teacher becoming transgender.
Oh,
it's trending now, and they're like, they wouldn't be able to release that today.
Oh no, but yeah, it'll live on the internet forever.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that. What was the character's name? Yeah, well, I know what you mean. And I'm sure pretty much everybody who enjoys this show knows what I'm talking about. And if not, Google's your friend. So there you go.
Yep.
All right, Dennis, and you have a little problem with Hallmark movies?
No, they're great. I mean, so my wife loves the Hallmark, especially during the holidays. She loves the Hallmark channel, and so I wrote a joke that I fell asleep on a Hallmark movie. I woke up, I had menopause.
Because, well, I was going to say we all kind of become chicks around the holiday seasons with the Hallmark channel because, there's some just kind of fun, happy, it's good feeling movies. And yeah, some of them are kind of sappy and goofy, but you know what? Isn't that what the holiday spirit's all about? Is just being sappy, happy, good time feeling you know. And, besides the fact that we're celebrating the birth of Jesus and all that, but
Yeah.
that's the main point. I'm just saying. And actually it was more like in September or something, but
when I go to a church or a venue, not even a church, but a venue where it has, say, 90% white, and then there's a sprinkling of minorities, I go, man, this is a Hallmark movie set. Hallmark always tries to have the friendly minority that everybody loves, that way they feel good. We're not racist.
For lack of a better term, token.
Yeah.
But there will be a smattering of a sprinkling of a little Latino and Asian and Black, and
so I get a kick out of that. But it's always poking fun of the little things in life, and if you're not, as a comic, our job is to observe life and interpret it. We tell stories based on our interpretation of life, and when we poke fun of it, if you're at a comedy show and you're there to get offended, I make it a habit of going, hey, if anything I said offended you, please see me after the show so I can give you the hug you didn't get as a child. It's comedy, doggone it.
Yeah, live a little. It's all right. Open your mind, take a breath, relax. It's all good. Dennis, we got to bring you back because I have so much to cover with you, and I want to make sure we do it right. But I do want to see. Okay, you said you're going to be in San Francisco. When again? When's that
April
show?
1st. April 1st.
Plug all that. Okay.
Yeah.
April 1st.
I'll be in Roseville, California, March. Let's look at the trusty calendar. God, I used to be able, 10 years ago, I could tell you where I was in 6 months. Now I got to look at where I'm at this weekend. I'm going to be at the Jesus Revolution red carpet this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then Southern California for church anniversaries in the middle of March. The Color of Comedy, Bridgeway Church in Roseville on March 24th. I will be, and then another church in Daly City on the 25th. So yeah, I'm a little bit everywhere coming up.
Yeah, bro.
So the one on the 24th is really nice. It's a couples. I love doing. So if I could put this in, I love, as a comedian, as a man of faith, and a comedian, I love how God uses my life for his glory, because I was supposed to be aborted and now I do pro-life events. I was, my dad being a heroin addict, saved in prison. Now I do prison ministry. I continue on his legacy there. My marriage was shattered, 23 years apart. Life was a mess. And I do a lot of marriage events now, whether it's date nights or marriage conferences. I'm blessed to be able to go in there and encourage couples. So I get blown away at God's goodness and using the mess that I made for his glory.
Dude, that is awesome. And yes, those are all amazing groups to be. Out of chaos comes peace, and that's exactly what God does with us day in and day out when we talk with him and give it to him, basically.
What's amazing, like you said, out of chaos comes peace. Shalom, Jehovah Shalom, in the original Hebrew, the pictographic word shalom actually means breaks the chains that bind to chaos.
Oh, wow, man. You are popping out the education here, aren't you?
Yeah. So when bro, I was.
Corey's like, bring it.
I was a horrible student. Corey, you appreciate this. I bombed my final in Greek and I got an F, and I laughed because I said, I got a grade that doesn't exist in the language. And the teacher laughed so hard, she gave me a pass. She said, you learned that much from me, baby. I'm going to pass you.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. All right. So, listen, Dennis Gaxiola, I thank you so much. I got a little thing I want to see if you're cool with. we like to play a little game here at the end of the show that we call Random Questions of Insanity. And I actually have a sounder for it. And usually Andy works with me on this. And it's that's that guy right there. And he was supposed to lead me into it, but apparently when I hit the button, it didn't work. So, but yes, it's just this group of questions. Nothing to it. There's no right or wrong answer. It just gives us a deep delve into your psyche and lets us know whether you're absolutely insane or an upstanding citizen, which we don't really like. So, but yeah, would you be interested in playing along with us?
Let's roll.
Yes,
Let's do it.
You are a trooper, and we are pulling up our random questions of insanity. We have 2 base questions that we always start with, and I think you'll be perfect for both of them. So the first random question of insanity is, what is the best James Bond film?
The last one. He finally died.
Oh. well, and now it just goes.
I didn't celebrate his. I didn't celebrate his death, but the fact that he was human and that they finally got.
Finally, you're like, oh my god, it can't happen. It can't happen.
Because some of those movies, it's like you could almost stop and look and go, "Don't worry, I'm the good guy." They're bad. They have no aim.
Oh, okay. So now this the last one. Okay, now who was your favorite Bond? Just out of just a side note.
The original. Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Right.
There's only one answer to that. Anybody else say something different? There's only one right answer.
We're gonna fight, bro. I apologize. My studio fell apart on me for a second there. Okay, and now we're back. All right. What is your favorite sandwich, and what all is on it?
I had one of my favorite sandwiches today.
Was it a Togo's?
Tuna fish sandwich with potato chips on the inside. That's the only proper way to eat a tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, I love tuna fish. And now, what kind of bread?
White bread.
White bread?
Yeah, white bread and some. No, I normally eat sourdough because diabetes, but white bread and some Ruffles has ridges, potato chips right on the inside, and you smash it a little bit, and it's a good sandwich.
Dude, I kind of want a tuna fish sandwich.
After that, pastrami.
I like the salty, oily meat. Okay, now because I am a tuna fish sandwich kind of guy, what do you like it like really wet tuna fish, like lots of mayo in it and stuff? You got chopped pickles, onions.
Yep, not a big white onion fan, but
oh no, red onion. Got to be red onion.
Yeah. But I like it. Today I made it real simple. Can of tuna, mayo, mustard, salt, pepper. On the white bread with the potato chips.
Yeah. Try
very moist.
Yeah. See, it's got to be wet.
Yep.
Try a little dash of some Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
It adds a little flair to it. I'm not gonna lie. And again, flair gets a little sassiness. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? What's a better pet, cat or a dog?
Dog.
Ah, yes. All right. Best music genre?
Well, I'm big on gospel, obviously, but I can literally go from Tupac to Yanni. I have in the past.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I like it all, but I mean,
yeah. Some of the late 70s, early 80s R&B. I'm a huge Earth, Wind and Fire fan.
Oh, dude,
greatest band of all time.
I saw them at the Circle Star Theater when I was a kid because I was playing trombone and I was really bummed out because I wanted to play drums. My dad took me to see them and I was just like,
wow.
Oh, I mean, Circle Star Theater, is that even around anymore?
It's not there anymore, but wow. But
Dude.
I've gotten, so not only did I grow up loving them, I got to open for them 4 times now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
So
Seriously,
when it comes
dude.
to music, there are very few, if any, Earth, Wind, and Fire tribute bands. You can't do their music. The Beatles, considered the all-time greatest band. It's when opportunity came together at the perfect moment, which what launched the Beatles, the free speech movement, the whole 9 yards. But talent-wise, I mean, the Beatles literally had to have a studio drummer play drums because Ringo was so bad. A lot of people don't know that.
No,
you know,
and also that what's his name was the 5th Beatle who actually did a lot of their background music. I'm trying to remember his name, and Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to.
I mean, they were great for their timing, for where they were in history, but talent, pound for pound talent. I mean, there's very few bands that from the music to the vocals. I think there's like 5 people on earth that have Philip Bailey's range.
Dude, Philip Bailey's amazing.
He's not a falsetto. And I, for one, thought a falsetto had something to do with implants. I had no idea.
You kind of think that when you hear somebody singing in falsetto, but no.
Yeah, but Philip is, I forget the name, the range he has. There's a very, very small amount of people on earth that could hit his vocals.
Right. And and it is impressive when he's nailing it, he's nailing it. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now
Corey has a question. He said, why do we call it tuna fish when everybody knows it's a fish?
Right. It's and we don't say salmon fish patties or catfish fish nuggets. No, we just
Corey went deep on us.
I know, Corey. Well, Corey's a contemplative kind of guy, and he's a little lonely every now and then too. So we just play along and just go, yeah, you're right, Corey. That's good. Well done. Well played, Corey. I'm waiting for him to say some kind of smarty remark.
But it's the same reason we say hamburger, because everybody knows
there's no ham in the burger.
There's no ham in the burger.
And it wasn't made in Hamburger. No. It's it's called ground beef.
An aphrodisiac has nothing to do with African American hair.
What? Okay, I'll get myself in trouble in that. That would be horrible. Let's see. Oh, here's one of my favorites, and I think I know your answer. Snark being processed. Please wait. You have a choice to save the world between Iron Man or Batman. Who do you choose?
I'm a Batman guy. I grew up with Batman.
Okay. Well, now you and Andy are best friends.
Well, see, but you gotta remember, when I was a kid, Batman would come on like at 4:00.
Yep. KTVU.
Batman, and I would have a towel tied around my neck, and I would run around my grandfather's house going, "Batman's on!" And then the rooms are all crooked. You know, the bad guys, all their rooms are always crooked.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they wonder why some of us experimented with drugs afterwards. I know. It's really, just trying to make the rooms crooked like in Batman, Mom. Can I have my model glue back, please? Yeah. Well, all right. I have my my reservations on your choice, but that's fine. It just proves that you're a big fan of Andy now. Andy is a huge Batman fan. I am a huge Iron Man fan. That's why we have that question. You can be anyone for 5 minutes. Who do you choose?
Anyone for 5 minutes?
5?
Alive or from the past?
Doesn't matter.
We can't say Jesus because you can't be God for a day.
No.
5 minutes. Man, that would preach. Who would want the sin of the world on their shoulders? You can't be Jesus for a minute. Okay, for humans, okay, I'll go sports. Muhammad Ali.
Oh, ooh, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Yeah, dude. Okay, I get it.
I've cried 2 times for sports. I was 12 years old when Ali lost to Michael Spinks, and I didn't understand how could Ali lose.
Right.
And when Ali died.
Oh man, yeah,
That
that
much
one
of an
hurt.
impact on my childhood and my younger years. And you know, I hope he called out to Jesus at the end. But as far as a humanitarian and what he represented, and a great fighter, so
Yeah.
Ali for 5 minutes.
He was still just a truly sweet man. I mean, not a bad mean bone in his body, but yeah,
Nope.
don't cross him. Well, on that note, which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face?
Famous celebrity that I punch in the face?
Yep.
Well, if I was a woman, I would love to punch The View in the face.
just do the whole.
Give him a,
Three Stooges.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't fantasize about punching people. If I, as a man, get away with if you couldn't hit me back, get away with punching The Rock.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's see. Let's do all right, couple more here. Oh, what's better, ding dongs, ho-hos, Twinkies, or fruit pies?
Fruit pies.
Oh, okay. Any particular one?
In the morning it would have to be a cherry pie, but in the afternoon, lemon. Can't do lemon in the morning because the citrus with the coffee.
Oh yeah. Oh. See, I used to
but the berry one is too. Oh man, you're gonna make me go break my the bear, like the blackberry. The berry one's really
those are pretty good. Those are good.
Yeah.
No, I used to love the cherry pie with a either a Coke or chocolate milk.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, the lemons are good, and that it is an afternoon thing. You're right. You cannot do that in the morning. No. But now I want a cherry pie with my coffee in the morning. I'm a little intrigued now. Where's your happy place?
On stage.
On stage. Beautiful answer.
On stage, but more than that, an altar call, seeing chains being broken off people. I love at the end of a service or even a comedy night where I have I present the gospel and have an altar call and see people set free. That's my happy place. There's Jake.
Yeah. What up, Jake? And there's Leah Aguero there. Hey, Mrs. A, we're wearing the shirt. We're plugging you, and she's up at the Food Expo right now.
Nice.
Ready for tomorrow. So awesome. Best of luck, Mrs. A. We are plugging you away here. Okay, last one, Dennis. I'm gonna throw it at you. You have 30 seconds to tell the world something. What is it?
Fall in love with Jesus. There's nothing more important in your life than having a solid relationship with God, and you can't have a solid relationship with God unless you go through His Son. And I'm not talking religion, but I'm just saying, if when you fall in love with this man named Jesus and you realize the plan He has for your life, that hole in your heart is filled, and that's the most valuable thing you could ever tell somebody is introduce them to Jesus.
Yep. Okay. I'm done. I'm out. You finish the show. That was perfect. That was no better way to say it, brother. Thank you, man. That was awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, you rock so hard. And now you guys are getting ready to do some more shows. If you haven't seen him yet, Dennis Gaxiola on the Dry Bar Comedy Circuit out on YouTube, correct?
YouTube, Amazon Prime, all social media platforms, pretty much. Both specials are on Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime, you can see them for free.
Yeah.
But if not, you can see them on YouTube if you Google comedian Dennis, I pop up. So yeah, hopefully you get a little chuckle out of the comedy.
Yes, and yes, that was the other thing I was going to say. I've got your well, we'll have links to all his webpage as well, but he's right down there. Just Google comedian Dennis Gaxiola or comedian Dennis, and it pops right up. I'm sorry, and I cannot thank you so much for
thank you for having me,
being on here, brother, and I really, really, truly appreciate it.
Oh my God, earthquake. I'm joking.
Grab the fish. Hey kids, again, you are the man, Dennis Gaxiola. Thank you so much for being with us. And we will get you back on here, please.
I'm patting my heart. You guys, I really enjoyed being with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are humbled. And if you missed it, don't. You can go right to you get the tuna fish. Go and check out Dennis on his webpage again, Dennis Gaxiola, or I'm sorry, comediandennis.com and or comediandennis.net. You go right there and you can check him out there. We've got all sorts of stuff coming up for you kids. And we want to thank everybody for being a part of this show. Corey, thank you, Andy. Yes, we all miss Andy and my bungling. And we need help. I need help in a big, bad way. Hank, Corey, thank you so much for joining in with us, buddy. Really, really do appreciate it. And hey, thanks for plugging in the crickets there, whoever did that. Want to thank all of you for being a part of the show. We want to thank the advisor. We want to thank Spreaker. We want to thank iHeartRadio, Good Pods, the band you're hearing right here, Dead Campers. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and giving us our opening and closing music. The Good Wives Network will be doing their soft launch here in April, so be ready for that. We're going to be on there as well. And our fabulous new sponsor, Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. 3 different styles, all available throughout Northern California, parts of Oregon, Nevada, and Wyoming, and soon to be Southern California, and hopefully all over the U.S. So go to her website, mrsafamous.com, and you can find out how to get yours and where to get it. All right, kids? Next week, we've got all sorts of people coming in. No, we don't. We've just got this guy right here. And if you don't know who that is Mr. Tim Hare from Greengrass Cattle Company. You may have seen me doing some taste testing with his products. And, man, it is about the most amazing meat you're ever going to have. It makes a huge difference when people are taking care of your food that you're eating. And it's all organic, it's healthy, and I mean, even their water's filtered, for goodness sakes. They live in these luscious little pastures, and it's amazing. So make sure you check us out next week. You want to see how farming's done and done right, that's the way to do it. We will be back next week, kids. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. See ya!